In the last section, we learned about the lifecycle methods of React components and how they enable us to add custom behavior around the main events in the lifecycle of a component. We're now ready to start building a React application from scratch. In this section, we'll define the requirements and specs of our application, and we'll start building the presentational components using pure stateless functions. Let's first talk about what we're going to build. In this video, we'll define the requirements of the application we're going to build, and I'll also show you the starting point of this project, which will be a GitHub repository with branches you can check out at various points in the application progress timeline. I'd like to think about the specs as a starting contract between the client and the developer of the application. Of course, neither will know exactly the final shape of the product, but creating an initial expectation is a good starting point. We're going to build a management page for a book list, where we'll have a list of books in the main page. Each book will have a title, price, and author information. A user of the system will be able to remove a book from the list and add a new book to the list. We're going to keep things simple. No authentication or authorization. We'll assume the user has the proper access to manage this list of books. To get started, we're going to clone this GitHub repo. Then we're going to cd into it. And we're going to check out branch start. This branch will have the code that I'll be starting with here. This repo is a create React app project. So we'll need to do an npm install to get all the dependencies. When this npm install finishes, we can launch the app with npm start. I've cleaned up the repo to only show a hello React message. If you see this message, you're good to go. We'll start working with the data structure in memory. I've prepared a JSON with a sample of actual data under source data.json here. I've tried to make this data a bit realistic and not an example data. This is ideally what you'll get from a production API service if you're trying to build a list of books interface. I've also planted some problems here for us to deal with. Eventually, we'll also take this data into the backend and make it available through an API.